After you've created your trees and added some color, you can then join the leaves to the trunk to create one object. So click on the leaves, click on the trunk. So I've just had shift click to select them both, and then hit Control J. That will join them together, or alternatively you can right click and it will bring up the option to join as well. So now that I've got those two joined together, I'm going to rename it as Big Tree in my tree collection and go through the same process for your other tree if you manage to make two trees. So shift click to select all the objects. I'll do it right click this time, so right click, join, and I'll name this one small tree. Okay, so now what we will do is use what's called a particle system to spread lots of different instances of those trees around our landscape. So make sure you keep saving it all the time, of course, guys. And we're going to select the landscape and come over here to where it says particles. Click on the plus button and select hair. Let's name this particle setting trees. Also select this option here where it says advanced. Alright, so all these little hairs that have popped up all over the scene, that's where a tree will eventually appear. It's currently set to 1,000. That's far too many for what we need. Why don't we start at 100 and see what that looks like. Okay, just leave all the other settings as they are for now. Let's just scroll down there to where it says render. It says render as path. We need to change that to render as collection. So click collection, scroll down a little bit further. It says collection, instance collection. Click on that box and then choose trees. And what you should get is your trees will appear in the scene like this. If you select whole collection, it will make sure that you have both the trees together at the same time. I think if you just choose collection, it will just spread out the trees evenly. I don't mind those two trees being together like that. I think that looks all right. A little bit repetitive maybe. So you might encounter a problem where your trees might be lying on the side, and if they are lying on the slide, what you need to do is to go up here to rotation options and then try to find, so you can see once I've clicked that, mine have actually gone and laid down. Um, if your trees are lying down like this, in this option here, you can just go through the different choices here until you come across one where your trees will be standing upright. So I'm just going to uncheck that because it seemed to have worked for me. You can see some of the trees, it's not an exact process sometimes in Blender, depending on what you've done. Some of the trees are actually floating off the ground. There is a way of fixing that. If you'd like to fix that, we can. And if you'd like to figure out how to fix that, you just ask me and I'll try to help you out there. Hopefully you get a good enough result that you don't need to fix it too much. So what we'll do is now just fiddle around with the scale. We want the trees to be a little bit bigger. We can have a little bit of randomness in the scale as well, so they're not all the same size. It's looking okay. And then the next thing we need to do is to tell Blender that we don't want the trees along the train track. So we can do that in another setting up here called the weight paint setting. So you can see I've actually already done it on this project. So what you'll get when you click on the weight paint mode is you'll have a completely blue screen. And by painting down along the landscape there, you can paint in where you want your trees to appear. and leaving the middle of the scene blank. See, I've just accidentally added in a little paint stroke there, so I'm going to reduce the weight to 0 and the radius down small so I can actually go back over and paint that out. So where it's blue, blue means there will be no particles, and where it's red, red means that's where the particles will be distributed. So I'm just going to move that one back as well. So once you've got your weight painting done, go over to this icon that says data, and in this section where it says vertex groups, it will say groups for you, or group. Double click on that and just rename it trees. Once that's done, you can go back to the particles. And what you should be able to do now is to scroll down to where it says vertex groups density. Click on that and select trees. And then all the trees will move away from the track so we don't have trees in the way of the train track. So what we now have is, let's go back to object mode. We don't really, you can keep your original trees there if you'd like to, or if they look a little bit out of place, what you can do is go over here to the menu and just select the eyeball and the camera, and that will get them out of the way, and they also won't appear in the final scene.